In a cheerful town filled with cobblestone streets and flower boxes on every window, there stood a curious little shop with a sign that read, "Tick-Tock's Timepieces." The shop was crammed with clocks, wall clocks, cuckoo clocks, pocket watches, and even one that clapped instead of chiming. Children loved pressing their noses against the glass to hear all the different rhythms, tick-tock, tickety-tock, tockety-tick. But hidden at the very back of the shop stood a tall golden clock unlike any other. Its frame shimmered like sunlight, and instead of numbers, its face was covered in tiny stars. Though Mr. Tick-Tock polished it every day, he never wound it. He only smiled when asked, "That one doesn't need winding. It winds itself." And he would wink as if keeping a great secret. Ellie, a curious girl with a quick mind and an even quicker imagination, loved the shop more than any playground. One windy afternoon, she stepped inside to escape the swirling leaves. As she admired the clocks, her gaze drifted toward the golden one. That was when she saw it, the hands spun in wild circles, faster and faster, until, dong. Dong. The golden clock struck 13. Ellie gasped. "That's impossible," she whispered. Before she could take another breath, the clock's face shimmered like water and opened like a door. A swirl of sparkling light whooshed out, wrapping around Ellie and pulling her inside. Down, down, down she tumbled, until she landed gently on a soft, glowing cloud. She blinked and looked around. The sky was filled with floating islands, each drifting like balloons. A river of shimmering sand wound through the air, and trees shaped like giant hourglasses swayed as if keeping time with the wind. Strange and wonderful creatures bustled about, rabbits with pocket watches dangling from their necks, turtles carrying sundials on their backs, and birds that sang the hours instead of ordinary songs. As Ellie stood in wonder, a silver-feathered owl swooped down, its wings sparkling with tiny clock faces. "Welcome, Keeper of Courage," it said, bowing. "You have entered the land of time. The great clock has chosen you." Ellie's eyes widened. "Me? Chosen for what?" "The great clock is slowing," the owl said gravely. "If it stops, time in your world will freeze. Laughter will hang in the air, raindrops will never fall, and no one will take another step. To save it, you must find the 3 lost gears, the gear of seconds, the gear of minutes, and the gear of hours." Ellie swallowed hard. "And where are they?" The owl's eyes glowed. "Guarded by the keepers of time, who will test your wit, kindness, and bravery." Though nervous, Ellie nodded. "I'll try. I have to." The owl lifted a wing, and a path of glowing sand stretched out before her. "Then your quest begins." Ellie's first stop was the Cave of Seconds. The walls shimmered with thousands of tiny glowing dots that flashed every second, like fireflies. Suddenly, silver mice darted in and out, so quick they were only blurs. Their leader, a sparkling mouse with whiskers like wires, squeaked, "Catch one of us, and the gear of seconds is yours." Ellie chased, but the mice were too fast. She stopped, panting, and thought hard. Then she remembered the crumbly biscuit in her pocket. She set it down. Instantly, all the mice rushed over, squeaking happily. The leader squealed with laughter. "Clever girl. You knew seconds cannot be caught, they must be noticed." With that, he placed a shining gear in her hand. Next, Ellie reached the Garden of Minutes. Enormous flowers towered above her, opening and closing their petals once every 60 seconds. The air smelled sweet, and each bloom ticked softly like a clock. But a grumpy sunflower with a wrinkled face blocked her way. "You cannot pass," it boomed, "unless you answer my riddle. What belongs to you, yet others use it more?" Ellie frowned, tapping her chin. She thought of her toys, her books, her home, but then she grinned. "My name. People use it all the time, but it's mine." The sunflower nodded, smiling at last. "Well done." From within its petals, it handed her the gear of minutes. Finally, Ellie climbed the Tower of Hours, which rose high above the floating islands. Inside, each floor had a clock that ticked louder than the last. At the top, she found a mighty lion with a mane made of golden clock hands. His eyes gleamed like polished brass. To earn the gear of hours, he rumbled, "Show me true bravery." Ellie's knees trembled. She wanted to run, but she stood tall. I'm afraid, she admitted softly, but I won't give up. I'll try anyway. The lion's fierce face softened. That is bravery indeed. He handed her the final shining gear. Ellie hurried back to the heart of the land of time, where the great clock stood still and dim. She climbed a silver ladder and carefully fitted the 3 gears into place. Click. The clock gave a shudder. She turned the key, and suddenly, whir. Tick-tock. The great clock roared back to life. Its light spread across the sky, filling every corner with warmth. The floating islands steadied, the rivers flowed, and the creatures cheered. The silver owl returned. You have restored time. The world will move again, thanks to you. Before Ellie could reply, the golden door opened once more, pulling her back through swirls of light. She landed with a soft thud in Mr. Tick-tock's shop, just as the golden clock struck 12. Everything looked as though nothing had happened, except for one thing. In her pocket lay a single silver feather, sparkling softly. Mr. Tick-tock looked at her knowingly and winked. Ah. I see the great clock trusts you now. Time is safe, for today. Ellie clutched the feather, her heart racing. She couldn't help but smile. She knew deep down this was not the end of her adventure. It was only the beginning. Sparkle's the end, or perhaps, just the start. Subscribe to this channel for more videos.